In modern anime, there is a tendency for music scores to be simplistic in style and erratic in execution. Scores seem to be created more so to fulfill the need for music to exist rather than for enhancing the show. The proper utilization of music in anime has the unique ability to unlock an entire dimension of immersion that otherwise lies untapped. Deliberate music composition can make or break the ability for viewers to relate to and empathize with the story, characters, and world. The ability to create a score that speaks not only to the emotions of the characters or scene, but to the emotions of the viewer is a talent given to few composers. I am midway through a 3-part series highlighting my personal favorite composers for modern anime and why their music makes all the difference in the projects they are a part of. This is the second of the 3. This is the empathetic music of Evan Call. Wow, that was just beautiful. Great job to the editor. Jokes aside, I want to preface this entire video by saying I'm not trying to shove Evan Call into a box. Most of what I'm going to talk about in this video does pertain to a certain niche of anime that Call has scored, but all of his music is brilliant in its own right. Speaking of his myriad of experience, Call got his start by learning the guitar and bluegrass over the course of a year while sick, but quickly got introduced to anime and anime music by one of his friends. After that, he moved to enjoying things like folk music from all different sorts of cultures, funk, jazz, rock, and even metal, even employing his talent for singing and his love of metal in the Love Schwarzenmarken anime by doing his own death metal vocals for some of the songs. His love of all things music led to him majoring in film scoring, and his love of anime led him to taking a chance to go to Japan for 3 months on a tourist visa to try to find work. After a series of incredibly fortunate events, he was put in contact with one Junpei Fujita, a fellow music writer and member of Garden, who invited him to audition to join Garden. Alongside Fujita, he made scores for anime such as Symphogear G and GX, Tante Kageki Milky Homes, and Alcana. As mentioned before, and still underneath the umbrella of Garden, he also solo produced music for anime such as Schwarzenmarken and Tokyo ESP, before finally leaving them when his contract was up in 2016. In 2017, he joined a similar conglomerate of music producers, Miracle Bus, and has since scored several famous anime such as Violet Evergarden and the more recent My Happy Marriage. These later anime really put Evan Call on the map, especially the astounding success of Violet Evergarden. In my previous video, I discussed Kevin Pinkin's approach to anime scoring, dealing with what he called the color palette, a method he described as taking the themes, the characters, the world, and other aspects of the source material and anime material, and attaching them to music production methods and instruments. Similarly, Call describes his own process in an interview earlier this month with Anime Corner that his process also involves a palette wherein he takes into consideration things like the world, the story's intentions, the characters and their interactions with each other and the world. After condensing these elements into things like instrumentation and music production techniques, he then also goes over the sound menu provided by the project's sound director to make sure that his palette and the sound menu and kind of the general director's wishes coincide. Speaking hereafter to his more emotional projects, such as Violet Evergarden and My Happy Marriage, this step I mentioned is where Call, I think, really sets himself apart. I mentioned in my video title that Call's music is empathetic, and his method for scoring emotionally driven anime belies a genius rarely seen. Call's ability to not only parse source material and the director's requests, but also his ability to interpret at a human level what sort of melodies or instrumentation might resonate most with the audience, and then blend all of those aspects together, are precisely what makes his music empathetic. In contrast to how Pinkin's music speaks for the world itself, in my opinion, Call's music echoes and enhances the characters' interactions, emotions, and worldviews in a way that only music can. You can take this following statement with a grain of salt, but there are two tracks that jump to my mind instantly in which Call employs a simple melodic technique, I guess I'll call it, that I have dubbed the melody of the heart. Innocence from Violet Evergarden and The Meeting from My Happy Marriage, which you heard earlier in my intro, both utilize an ethereal female vocalization for the melody and supporting melody that, without words, allow us a distinct and omniscient glance into the emotions surrounding the characters in that moment. There are others within the two soundtracks that I'm talking about that also use this purported technique that I'm discussing, but it really is incredible how, even without something as concrete as spoken language, that music can show us humanity. I am aware, of course, that I am looking at all three of these composers in a romanticized way. There is a lot of work from a lot of people that goes into making these scores so fantastic. However, it bears mentioning yet again that the caliber of composer that it takes to take concepts as transient as existence as absence and transcendent beauty, and distill them into works of art that speak clear as day into the hearts of audiences from all different walks of life and cultures, is a caliber that is rarely seen. Evan Call has a distinct gift for expressing these concepts, and his music continues to be a key pillar in whatever project he is a part of. And as some of you know, Violet Evergarden is my favorite anime. It is also where I first encountered Call's music, and it has left a marked impression on my entire life. I unabashedly adore Call's music, and I know that many more have been touched by the incredible music that he has created. I am, of course, very excited for his upcoming work in Frieren and Sengoku Yoko, but I know that whatever Call puts his skills towards, you have to trust that it's going to be maximum effort. From metal to funk to orchestral, he is a multifaceted powerhouse that absolutely will continue to deliver. Mr. Call, if you ever happen to see this video, I just want you to know one more time that you have my heartfelt thanks for your astounding compositions. Just the beginning notes of some of your songs are enough to bring me to tears. And I hope one day that I'll get to sit down maybe with you and ask some burning questions that I have, but we'll see where this goes. That about does it for me. I want to thank y'all so much for watching. I know it was a little bit more transient in my own opinions on Call today, but I thank you for bearing with me. I'm Papadopoulos, and I'll see y'all next time.